Yesterday morning, I spoke in Tamil because yesterday was Ramana Bhagavan's Jayanti day. On the Jayanti day of any great soul, great master, there is a constant flow of grace for everyone. It is fitting to recall some of the experiences Bhagwan himself narrated when he went to Ramana Ashram in 1947 and 48. As Bhagwan has promised again and again to remember anything connected with this beggar, which of course applies to all the other Mahatmas as well. Anything that we remember of any great master will fetch a lot of blessings to us. In 1947, Bhagwan was working in Radhakrishnan Sameria School. Shri Kapadia Baba was his earliest mentor. When Bhagwan was already practicing sadhana and he used to go to Kapadia Baba's ashram. It's just 2 kilometers from Nadara. It's a beautiful place. I believe from Nadara, Bhagwan would walk to Kapadia Baba's ashram. And once Kapadia Baba took his hand in his and said, Ramsurat, one day this hand of yours will have more power than this, pointing to his body, he said, pointing to himself. Kapadia Baba said that Ramsuratkumbar's hand will have more Shakti, more power than what he himself possessed. And then Kapadia Baba said, I am not your Guru. Your Guru is in the south and in Pondicherry. Shri Aurobindo is there. And nearby another place is there, another great master is living there. You go there. So saying, he sent Ramsuratkumar, whom we call Bhagwan today. At that time he was a teacher in a school, a sadhak. And at the time, Bhagwan was also reading a book, Shri Aurobindo's Lights on Yoga. From childhood, Bhagwan's body was different. Bhagwan had felt it several times, that there were things happening in his body over which he had no control. There were many experiences, the meaning of which he did not know immediately. But he always knew, this is what Bhagwan said, he always knew that his life was going to be very different from others, that he had a mission. He said that he was always aware of this. In the depths of his mind, this awareness was there, that his life was going to be very, very different. So in 1947, he came to Shri Aurobindo Ashram. He could not have darshan of Shri Aurobindo because at the time he was a recluse. Shri Aurobindo was not giving darshan to anybody, but Ramsuratkumar met Pondicherry mother and stayed there for a few days when somebody came and told him that In the nearby Tiruvannamalai, there was a great master by name Ramana Maharishi. So when Bhagwan went there to Ramana Ashram, he was very much attracted to Shri Ramana Bhagavan, naturally. And he also, like everyone else, sat before Shri Ramana Bhagavan. Some of the incidents that he witnessed there, he narrated to me in Sudama and also in Sanadi Street House. Sometimes when Shri Ganesan of Ramana Ashram used to visit and I happened to be there, Bhagwan would be talking about this. So I had the fortune to listen to him, to get a first-hand experience. Bhagwan said one day some fruit had come, probably papaya or mango. He simply said that they had cut it into pieces and they collected the best ones out of it and put them in a plate for Ramana Bhagavan. The rest of them was being distributed to everybody in the meditation hall. One attendant came and kept the plate containing the fruit pieces near Ramana Bhagavan. Another attendant was distributing the fruit pieces to others. Ramana Bhagavan didn't say anything, he just sat there quietly. When the distribution was over, when everybody was expecting, they were all waiting for Ramana Bhagavan to take the pieces of fruit. And to their shock, Ramana Bhagavan, instead of taking the pieces to eat, he simply pushed the plate away. Everybody was shocked, didn't know what was happening, why he was doing it. And while he pushed it, some of the pieces from the plate spilled down on the floor. Immediately, Ramana Bhagavan got down and started to pick them up. And he put that into his mouth, put those pieces. The attendants rushed there to help him, but he, with one gesture of his hand, he kept them away. He picked them up himself and started to eat. Of course, the attendants knew, because they had kept separately the best pieces of the food for Ramana Bhagavan. He never liked to be treated in a very special way. Whatever was there for eating, it should be distributed equally. He never liked any special treatment from anybody. So this was his way of teaching them that they should not do it again. Bhagwan also narrated another incident. Once a white peacock came and stood before Ramana Bhagavan and cried out twice. It looked as though the white peacock was complaining to Ramana Bhagavan. And what was more, Ramana Bhagavan smiled and spoke out. Oh, did they tell you go away, go away? Did they tell you go, go? Why didn't you tell them also? Go, you go. Why should I go? You go. And to the surprise of all those people around, the white peacock was satisfied that it had made its complaint, and Ramana Bhagavan understood and was saying something. It went away immediately. What a scene it must have been. The way Bhagwan narrated the whole thing, it was so interesting. And it went deep inside. There was another time an artist had come who drew the picture with some color powder. He drew the picture of a peacock with all the intricate details. Ramana Bhagavan was just looking at it while he was doing it, and when he finished, he prostrated before Ramana Bhagavan happily and left. And then Bhagwan Ramana said, just see how perfect this piece of work is. For anyone to do such perfect work, such perfect art, he must be very close to God. Another incident was, once Shri Ramana Bhagavan was there in the shrine of Mathaji. There were some people standing with him, and Ramsuratkumar happened to be there. He was the nearest person next to Ramana Bhagavan. Ramsuratkumar was standing, and there were other people. Now the pujari waved the arati flame before Mathaji. Once it was over, he brought the arati plate to Ramana Bhagavan. Bhagavan Ramana, like anyone else, everybody, like the others, he also touched. He touched the flame and put his hand to his eyes. It's not putting your fingers into the flame. It's a manner of speaking. He touched the plate and put it to his eyes, and then took some kumkum, the red powder. And then the pujari took the plate to the one nearest to Ramana, that was Ramsuratkumar. Yogiji, at that time Ramsuratkumar, put his finger. He also wanted to take this kumkum. And when he put his finger there, his whole frame shook with a shock. Bhagwan was saying much later, this beggar just touched the plate, where Ramana Bhagavan had already touched, to take this red powder, to put it on the forehead. Suddenly, there was such a shock, such was the powerful vibrations where Ramana Bhagavan touched. This beggar was shaken completely. And then he said, this beggar used to wonder because once this beggar saw David Frawley sitting so close to Ramana Bhagavan and talking. And this beggar was wondering how it was possible for him, because the very nearness of Ramana Bhagavan, even touching the place where he had touched, created such a shock in this beggar's body. This beggar also saw once Yogi Ramaya applying some oil on the back of Bhagwan Ramana, and he was doing it for quite some time. And again this beggar wondered how this was possible for him. Just a fraction of a second, touching the place of Ramana, this beggar was shaken. Such was the power of Ramana's touch. You can imagine the power of his gaze. When his gaze touched people, they were transported to higher spiritual realms. The first time Bhagwan had come to Ramana Ashram, he could stay only for 2 or 3 days, and he had to leave. He had taken only 1 month holiday, 1 month leave from his school, and just before he left, he went to Ramana Bhagavan and prayed to him and asked him, Bhagwan, please bless me with Purnatva. Surprisingly, Ramana Bhagavan usually would keep quiet when somebody appealed to him in this fashion. But to Ramsuratkumar, Bhagwan Ramana said, Sari. Bhagwan was overwhelmed, that is, Ramsuratkumar was overwhelmed. Later on, he said this word, Sari, the Tamil word, the first Tamil word he picked up was the Sari. And somehow many devotees of Yogi Ramsuratkumar would know that he was using this word Sari in English. He would say, everything is all right. They will become all right by Father's grace. This beggar is all right. All right means Ellam Sari. The next time when he came, he stayed. He had taken 3 months leave from school and was staying in Ramanashram for 2 months. That is when he noticed some of these events that he narrated to us later on. So, we could go through the experiences that Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar himself went through with Bhagwan Ramana. It's a double blessing for all of us to recall, to reminisce this. And this Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar is here right in our front. We have already submitted our prayers of the day at his feet. So let me be brief